Hello everyone, we're getting back to that time of year again. The 2025 AFL season is just around the corner, and I thought now would be a good time to make my ladder predictions for 2025. We'll go from 18th to 1st like a traditional ladder predictions video, and without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So the wooden spooners in 2025 for me, you might call me plain, original, whatever. It's going to be Richmond again. They just lost absolutely everything and everyone. Now probably a quarter of their entire team is full of the draft picks from this draft picks period. And yeah, I don't see them doing anything remarkable in the 2025 AFL season. So yeah, Richmond in bottom 4, most likely 18th. That's my prediction for Richmond in 2025. Now for 17th, you can call me plain again, but it's probably going to be West Coast in 17th again in 2025. It's not that I had a terrible 2024 trade period or draft picks. Not anyone notable from the draft picks, but I did get Matt Owies from Carlton in the trade period, which is going to be a very handy asset up forward for the Eagles in 2025. But if I'm going to be honest, it's a bit of the same story as Richmond at best, maybe no more than 14th, but I don't see West Coast finishing any higher than 14th. That's why I've got them in 17th. But yeah, I got them in 17th for 2025. Now it's probably worth mentioning, I wanted to put in a couple of hot takes. So there's 2 hot takes for this ladder that I've put in for the 2025 season. First one is coming up now. 16th is going to be Melbourne. So they did horrific for their standards last year now, sorry. They performed far below standard. The Prochaka injury obviously didn't help at all this year, so I'm not going to put you completely under the pump. And he's injured again now. He's got more rib injuries, I think, now. So yeah, that's not going to help for the Melbourne pre-season. But one man can only do so much for the club. And yeah, if that's the standard Melbourne are going to have to start 2025, then they're just not going to cut it this year. Now for 15th, a team with a bit less of a good trade period and draft picks, which was Essendon. So I've got Essendon 15th, and if you didn't know already, we're going off, I've mostly done the ladder predictions of the team's 2024 season and the trade period and draft picks. And Essendon were another team that was just pretty disappointing this year. They didn't really cut it for Essendon fans, at least. They were doing good for a lot of the season. Well, at least the first half of the season. They didn't get anyone notable in the trade period. They got no one notable in the draft picks. Actually, a couple people, sorry. I think they got one early draft pick, I can't really remember. But as far as the trade period goes, there was only one out, and that was Jake Stringer, who, if, like Melbourne, if they're not gonna hit the ground running in 2025, or at least keep the momentum up and not be third for half the year and then drop off, then I don't see them finishing anywhere near top 8 for maybe even the next couple of years. I'm not sure. But yeah, Essendon in 15th. Now in 14th, might shock a couple people. I don't really call it a hot take, but it's going to be Sydney, I reckon. Not only do they have the new coach, which was just their assistant coach, but they've been a little worse than what people give them. Like the credit people give them, I think, is a bit overrating Sydney a bit. Because realistically, they haven't been that good. I mean, they're making finals consistently, and they make grand finals every now and then. More often than not, they're making grand finals, but they're getting pummeled. And it hasn't been good at all from Sydney. It was a pretty disappointing end to the 2024 season, which realistically was a season where Swans fans and most of the AFL thought that, yeah, finally these Swans are going to get it done. And they got belted in the grand final again. So unless they don't find something, it's going to be a pretty mediocre 2025 season for the Swans. And yeah, again, the new coach, which was just an assistant coach, he's coaching them now. It might take a little while for them to get into the groove of his coaching style, which may be different from Longmire's, I'm not sure. But yeah, if that's the case, then Sydney, you're probably going to have a mediocre 2025 season. So in 13th is my biggest hot take for the 2025 season. The Roos are going to be 13th. Every year they are finishing in that bottom 2, bottom 3, and they get good draft picks. Sometimes they'll get a great trade period as well. And you think, yeah, they're finally going to do a bit better, maybe not finals, but improve. And they just don't. It's been a horrific last half a decade almost for the Roos. They haven't shown signs of improvement at all, like ever. And they started 2024 horrifically too, losing like the first 11 games or something. That's beside the point. They had an amazing trade period. They got Caleb Daniel, Jack Darling, who may not be as useful as he might have been if he was traded a bit ago, because he's a bit older now. And a pretty good draft picks too. And it'd be pretty nice to see the Roo boys go up the ladder in 2025 season. Now in 12th spot, which actually could even be a little generous, is Adelaide. They didn't have any notable draft picks other than I think it was Sid Draper, who actually might be pretty good for the Crows in 2025. They didn't do good at all in 2024. High expectations for a team who just missed finals and very unluckily missed finals due to that ball hitting the post. But yeah, it was pretty disappointing to see the Crows fail by AFL standards in 2024. And really, I just don't see them doing any better this year. They've got a good list, and like the Roos, if they're on the A game, they'll put teams to the test, and then it'll be a really challenging, hard, tough game. But I just don't see that happening an awful lot in 2025. They were pretty disappointing again in 2024, and yeah, I just see it happening again in the 2025 season. Now in 11th, I have the Gold Coast Suns, who were amazing, sensational, challenging team to play at home. And away, not so much, picking up 1, maybe 2 wins. One against Essendon, if it was 2, I can't recall. That was the McAndrew goal after the sign, which was a great game to watch. If it's any lower for the Suns in 2025, then it's a poor effort. I'd call it a fail for the Suns in 2025 if it's any lower than 11th. If it's higher than 11th, then good on them. And if it's finals, then that would be great. But to make finals, they're just going to have to play like they do at home, but away. And we all know they can. It's just for whatever reason they don't. And I think for Dimmer, there'll be something to work on in the 2025 season, playing away. In 10th place, I have St Kilda, who are not a terrible team. You know, they actually can be challenging, but they're just overall a mediocre team. Because they haven't played at their best, St Kilda. They didn't play at their best, in 2024. And again, that was pretty unfortunate to see, because like many teams in the AFL who miss finals consistently, they can be challenging at their best. And when they are at their best, they do amazing. They play great footy. Around that halfway point of the season, however, that main problem with the Saints was goal scoring. They were winning some games, but they played that close one against Gold Coast, and it was good, it was close, it was entertainingly close, but it was boring with the lack of goal scoring at the same time. It was entertaining and boring at the same time. But if that's the St Kilda that's going to start the 2025 season, it's just going to be another mediocre season for St Kilda. If they do happen to play great, then it's going to be finals. Now for the unlucky team, it's going to be Fremantle in 2025, who will finish 9th. I probably sound highly repetitive, but it's true. The teams from 9th to about 14th are good enough to challenge finals, or if not, just push up a bit higher on the ladder. But if they remain at that consistency that they were in 2024, then it's just not going to happen. And Freo, they are good. At their best, they are finals. They pushed up the ladder. They fought hard finals. They beat Sydney, which is seemingly unbeatable Sydney team in Sydney. And then they had to beat Port at Optus Stadium and they just couldn't do it. If it's going to be like that again for Fremantle in 2025, then I don't see them making finals in the 2025 season. And for 8th place, we are in the finals now. It's going to be Port Adelaide in 8th place. They made top 4 in 2024 and they played pretty good. Ken Hinkley is a great coach. Don't get me wrong, he's an amazing coach and he knows what he's doing. He knows how to make finals consistently each year. They're never making it to that final Saturday in September. If they're not going to keep up that really good form over the whole year, which they didn't really. There was patches across the year where they played quite terribly. But if they're not going to keep that up, then it's going to be 8th. And then who knows about final series. In 7th place, I have Carlton, who also didn't play amazing in 2024. They've had that same form for the last 3 years now. Either playing good in the first half of the season and then playing shocking in the second half, or playing shocking in the first half and playing amazing in the second half. But I can't see them missing top 8 in 2025. Maybe, but they've got a good enough list, a good enough coach to scramble their way into the final series in 2025. So yeah, Carlton in 7th place for the 2025 season. Now for the third and final hot take, some might not call it a hot take, but I'm going to call it a hot take. For 2025, it's the Dogs in 6th. Though they didn't have a great 2024 season, and they didn't even have the best trade period or draft picks, I just see them doing pretty good this year. They've got the list to do great stuff in 2025, and they've got a great coach to do that great stuff in 2025 as well. And like a lot of other teams, when they're at their best, they are going to make finals. And I can just see them making finals this year, and it'll be good to see the Dogs hopefully make finals after having a pretty poor trade period and draft picks. 5th place, it's going to be GWS in 2025. They had a pretty good 2024 season. They finished 4th, played Sydney in that qualifying final and fumbled it pretty hard. They are a good team and they can make top 4. They fumbled that Brisbane game as well. They 100% should have won that one. And it was disappointing to see them fall short of the prelim final and the grand final. Again, they lost to Collingwood by that 1 point in 2023. They fumbled against Sydney and Brisbane in 2024, going out straight sets. And I don't think they're going to get that second chance in 2025, which, that doesn't mean necessarily that they're not going to make it to the grand final. It makes it a little less likely, but there is always a chance that they can make the grand final. They did amazing in 2023 to get to that prelim final and only lose to 1 point by the eventual premiers in that year. They 100% should have been in the eventual premiers in Brisbane at that semi-final. But it is what it is, and even though they are playing at their best, so I highly expect them to make finals, it may not be that grand final year for GWS, but yeah, GWS in 5th place for 2025. Now for the double chance teams, it's Hawthorn 4th. They were just sensational in 2024, took everyone's breath away, destroyed Collingwood, and unfortunately just fell short to Port Adelaide in that semi-final, which would have been interesting as Sydney Hawthorn prelim final. I reckon that would have gone down to the wire. They are going to be a massive threat in 2025 to a lot of teams, Hawthorn. They are sensational, but Hawthorn are going to get that double chance in 2025 for me. Now for 3rd place, it's the reigning premiers Brisbane. I don't know how far they'll go in the final series. It could be back-to-back, who knows. But I've got them in 3rd. They are a sensational team. They absolutely deserve that 2024 premiership, like I expected of my own team, Collingwood. Lots of fans are probably expecting Brisbane to do good in 2025, and I do too. I expect Brisbane to make top 4 in 2025, but as far as finals, I'm not sure yet. It's going to be interesting to see how they cope with their premiership defence in 2025. Now for 2nd place, it's my own team, Collingwood. We had a sensational trade period. Craig McRae was focusing more on players over picks. Game-changing trade period with Perryman up first from GWS. He's going to be great in the defence, well, wherever we put him. Then Dan Houston, which was a big one. That was big talk. North, Carlton, Collingwood, we were all linked to Dan Houston, and we got the chocolates in the end. And then Tim Membry in the end as well. That'll be great forward depth, which is something we need, because we have been struggling to convert forward 50 entries into goals. A lot of that 2024 season, even patches in the 2023 season, which we ended up winning the flag in that year. I'm really excited to see how the boys cope in 2025. I hope we go all the way again, and yeah. So yep, I have Collingwood in 2nd. And lastly, in 1st place, it's gonna be none other than the Geelong Football Club, who started their season sensationally. I think it was 7 wins in a row, and they looked unstoppable for a huge part of that season, and they fell short of the grand final again, losing to Brisbane in that prelim final, which they were 20 points up at one stage of the game, but I wouldn't call it a choke because it was pretty early on. And they have got a seriously good list, and if they play to their full potential, which may not happen, then I don't see them. If it doesn't happen, then it might be a bit lower than 1st, but I'd still say if not top 4, then just below top 4. 100% top 8 finish with the Cats, I think. And yeah, there's just a lot of depth in that team. Bailey Smith will help in the midfield. Yeah, I've got Geelong in 1st for 2025. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Just want to say thank you so much for 500 subscribers. It really means a lot to reach the halfway milestone to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, we're already on the verge of 550, so it really means a lot. thank you guys so much for 550 subscribers, and I'll try to make a bit more content over the next couple weeks. Again, if you guys have any suggestions for videos, leave them below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video, and I'll see you all next time.